Okay, good morning folks. I'm back after my break and I want to do a game review of a game I actually played last night. I played it last night on Pandanet. It was my first game after a few days off while I had a short holiday, and it was kind of interesting. It was interesting as a game, as they all are. I mean, I think Go is endlessly fascinating, and again, one of the things I constantly say is it doesn't matter what your level is. It doesn't matter whether you're a beginner at 30Q, that you've made it to 25Q, into your teens, 15Q, 12Q, 11Q, or even 7Q, a single digit Q like me. At each layer of the game meets you, and as your understanding and the depth of your knowledge and your skill deepens, then the game deepens, and as your grasp of the concepts of the game widens, the game widens. It's why Go is so endlessly fascinating, and why it's entranced and challenged and entertained human beings for the last 3,000-4,000 years. Anyway, speech over. What happened in this game? Let's just walk through the opening. There were a couple of three things in this that I really wanted to use to articulate some points in the game to my students. So in this game I was black against a white opponent, and I was going to try and set up the Chinese opening, so I was looking to make this play here. But white immediately came in and disrupted that potential by the play at q5. It's quite a radical play because it leaves the corner open at d4, and I was tempted just to go and take that corner and then see what happens in the lower right. But I think in the event, after white's approach, I made this wide extension and a wide high extension. Because of the presence of the stone on q17, I was expecting now white to extend up along the right side like this, but that's not what happened in the game. So let's move quickly through. So white then took the corner. I went, okay, fair enough. White's just done a probe in the lower right, saying it's one of those stones. This stone here, the stone on q5 by white, is one of those good question stones. You ask a question of your opponent, what are you going to do? Are you going to ignore? Are you going to respond? What are you going to do? And I gave white my answer in the form of that move, and then white said, fair enough, I'm under no pressure, my stone at q5 is still cool, so I'll just cheerfully take the corner over at d4. Okay, so I went, okay, well that's fine, I want to take the points in the corner. I want the points in the corner because that puts me ahead on the game, and that puts some pressure on your stone. Let's see what happens next. Noticed I was aware that I'd left a hole here that white could attach and separate the stones, could separate these stones, but I was alright with that. So this is what happened. So white blocked on that side. I thought I was strong enough on the lower right corner to just take white's base away. So I took white's base away and developed from the stone in the top right hand corner. And so white attached at the weak point that we identified earlier. So black harness, white extends, black makes a shape in the corner. It's not entirely comfortable for me at this point. I'm thinking it's not great shape, you've done better than this, because then white blocked, so it looks very likely that black's going to get shut in the corner and white's going to get all this outside influence that's going to radiate up along this side of the board from this wall here and actually out on here. So this doesn't look like a great outcome for black. So I descended just to make sure that I was alive and comfortable. Meanwhile, I'm looking at that move there, that cut, and see if there's anything that I can do with that. White pushed in there, and so I defended on the other side, and then white completed the shutdown. I mean, this on the face of it looks like a good outcome for white. It really does, because black is shut in. Fair enough. Black's got points in the corner. Black's got 6, 8, 10 points. Here they are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But that's really nothing in comparison with white's outside influence, and those two black stones that now look a little bit lost and lonely up against white's wall. But let's look at this again. What happens here is that this the black stone that I've triangulated here, N4, actually works as a ladder breaker, and let's see what happened in the game. So black cut at that point, and white pushed, and black pushed out, and then white pushed again. White turned to clip that stone, and then black came out. And what that black come out means is that this black group here has now got 4 liberties, and this white group here has got 4 liberties, and suddenly this stone is in a very powerful place to damage and isolate that black group, the white group on QRS5 row. That's what that was looking at. Why did white do that? Why didn't white simply go for the ladder? Because we can see there's a ladder breaker for white over there. The ladder looks good, but the problem is this stone here, that although it's not obvious, actually acts as a ladder breaker. Let's just look at that sequence. So black there, go back to the moves, white, black, white, black, white, black, ladder breaker. So if white comes out here, then black gets this one, white defends this one here, white here, probably here. What happens if white turns? Then black can just keep going because black's got liberties. Can white net this? No, no, no. Can white come here? Black's now got 4, white, probably black, white, black, white, black, white, black kill. No, doesn't work. It doesn't work. So that's where we go. So that's why white could not do the ladder. I'm not sure whether white read that out, but I knew that potential existed when I did the push. So I did the push. So white took that stone, and then black pushed out, threatening the right hand side. So white jumped to try and get some shape for the stones, and black made a kosumi to separate these stones from this one. Black came down, sorry, white came down, black came down, white harnade, black harnade, white Atari, black Atari, white takes, black connects. Now the white stones, these are the stones, are now dead. So black has hugely expanded the corner but in exchange white has got this nice Panuki shape on the outside and done some damage to this stone here. So white threatened to, I'm not sure what threat there is, because notice that white cannot push at either Q6 or R6 without a self Atari. So I simply Atari'd on the outside because white couldn't push on the inside. And sometimes we need to look closely and to see the potential. I mean, the knee-jerk reaction for black is to try and simply play here. But then white would get a stronger outside, something like this, or possibly like this, and then black is shut in again. Okay, fair enough, black's killed and expanded, but white still got the outside, and that wasn't what I wanted in this game. So at this point I ignored, Atari'd this side, white turns, and black takes. So black is now out of that corner. So, and actually white split in two. White's now split into a group on this side here and a group on this side. So black's out. So I'm fairly comfortable in this game at this point. White's Atari is to secure the life of that group, and then I'm looking at what to do over here. So I decide to pull this stone out. Now in the event, this kind of worked and kind of didn't work. It got into a dangerous place for me. White followed, black ran, white followed, black jumped, white wedged, black Atari'd, white connected, black connected, white started a ko. Black takes the ko. Why is the ko important? Let's just look at that. Obviously, black can't ignore that ko, and if black connects to kill here, sorry, let's get to this bit. If in response to black hits here, then white takes here, and white stones are connected, and black's in trouble again. That's what's going on here, because if black here, 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 that's what goes on. So I couldn't ignore that ko. So after the ko, black takes the ko, and now I've got a ko fight. And white's ko threat is to attack the corner. At this stage, I kind of went, I can't answer that. This is so important for me, so I'll just take the second stage and start another ko. And then white got this move in, and I didn't want to fight this ko. I just didn't want to fight the ko. If black had extended here like this, then white takes the ko back, and we're back into ko land. And the black stones here are looking a bit separated and dangerous. So I didn't want to take that ko. So I didn't want to fight the ko, so I took the second stage ko. So I've given white 2 free moves. But what black has got in exchange is quite a large territory along the right side and down into the lower right corner. So white commenced to attack the stone in the top right. Black extended, and what black's extending to do is either threaten to push out at Q14 or push through and give the cornerstone on Q16 some support. So white blocked, and I pushed through. White came down, and black came out. And what this does is that this actually helps, because it isolates this corner and it keeps this group separated. And notice this big white group here cannot be lost. It's way too heavy. White is way too invested in this group of stones now to actually walk away. It's got to defend, which means that I can attack this group from this side and from the top side and make it run, and while running hopefully build some territory on the top, or improve my position here on the lower side while attacking this group here. That's the aim. Sometimes we get caught into the fantasy that we can kill large group of stones, and occasionally we can, and good fun it is too, but largely we should attack with a view to making territory. While our opponent wriggles and squirms, we just bank the points, and that's what we're aiming to do. So what did white do? White turned. Why did white turn? White turns because the next move at S13 will kill the 3 black stones, give white eyes and link everything up. So I answered to stop that happening. And then white made a shape move to protect the space in the corner. I attached. White again made a shape move, and I made a shape move. It's very important for me now that this group lives, and it's quite a good outcome for me, because still this white group here doesn't have any eyes, and this group here is probably alive. It can probably make 2 eyes in that corner. I think it's alive, but alive with very few points, less than 10, maybe 6 or 7 points. So white wedged in. I didn't want to block and make my shape lumpy. By block and make my shape lumpy here, this is the starting to create a dumpling, because now white would do something like this, and now black's in trouble. That's an unattractive outcome for black, and so I simply made a shape here. I'm prepared to give this stone up because it's not doing important work, as long as I can preserve these 2 stones. So white wedges in, and I make a double tiger mouth by playing at N16. This is giving up the stone at P, but it's not an important stone. White nudges at my cutting point, so I connect, and then white comes out this way to ensure that the group is okay, which means that I can make an extension along the top and actually turn that area hopefully into black territory. White comes out again, so notice white has now made 2 moves in support of this row here to ensure that they don't die, and that's been great for me. So now I can make another shape move at the top. So white's 2 moves have actually potentially got some territory, but black here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, with some here, possibly even 20 points of territory there. It's a good outcome for black. Okay, white attaches, black comes up, and white makes a big shape move. This is quite a powerful move because we're now seeing how white's area here is developing into potentially a very big territory. So black had to come in. That was the urgent point. It was at that point. Everything else on the board is stable for black, and when we're stable we don't need to keep picking at the edges. When things are stable we need to look for the big moves, and it's the same here for white. White considers the shapes to be stable and so goes for the big move. Black goes for the move. White blocks the corner. I don't like that move by white. I think it's a bit leaden, a bit pedestrian. It gives black an ideal approach move there at the weak point of the two black stones, but that's what white did. So black made a jump and a base. Now, what I've got in mind here is that there are two white groups on the board that are weak. There's this group here, and there's this group here. And what I'm aiming to do is actually get something that comes out here in between the two, and so attacks in that way and attacks in that way. That's what I'm looking to do. White jumps in to separate the black stones. I decide that the attack to the right is sufficiently powerful to abandon the stone on f3, and so I jump. White attaches, trying to ensure that white has got eye space. I don't want white to get underneath, so I make this shape, which prevents white from attaching underneath from either side. You can't quite see that. Let's just show this to you. There, white protect. Or white from the other side, white protect. And get rid of that. And this shape we should recognize and know by now. This is the two stone wall with one space extension. We know that these stones are connected. Sorry about keep flipping up the baseline. Okay, so that's the shape move by black. So white descends, so black makes the outside move. Again, the outside move is to prevent white connecting. White comes in, black Ataris. White Ataris, black connects. So what's the exchange that's taking place here? The exchange that's taking place is white is eating this black stone. This black stone is being eaten, and white is hugely strengthening and enlarging this corner, and white's pretty comfortable right now that it can get these stones out of trouble, and that it's actually black here with its one eye that's in trouble, because that black group is sandwiched between the corner that's getting stronger and quite a strong white group around N2, 3, 4. That's what's going on here. White connects because it can't allow black to cut, because the cut at G3 would kill the two white stones on H2 and 3. So white connects, gives black a sente, and black pushes out to create more liberties for the group on the outside. And all this time I'm thinking, okay, if as I extend out along this line, I'm looking to play somewhere out here or here or here and resume the attack on this big wall over on that side. Okay, so white extends. So now this is a vital move. This move is to make sure that when those two black stones die, what they leave behind is a single eye. This is to take away white's potential to make two eyes. If white were simply to take that stone, it would pretty much, yes, it would have two eyes. So that's making a single eye. If white had omitted this and connected under and played here, then it's almost impossible for black to stop white either connecting out to here or making two eyes locally. And so the consequences of this group connecting with this group or this group living locally means that suddenly this group with its one eye is in a dire position. That's what's going on there. That's why at this point white connected, black pushed once. We take these off, we can see what the push is. There's the push to give some more liberties on the outside to the black group. White pushed out again to atari the stone on f3, and then black descended to make sure that white only had one eye. And again, what black's aiming to do here is actually now launch this attack out here that's going to attack down here and up here simultaneously. That's the attack I have in mind. Okay. So white turned to capture the two stones. Black harneyed, not to rescue the two stones but to restrict white's eye space. White came on the outside because white suddenly figured out what was going on here, and so black took the white stone and made the eye. Notice that if black hadn't have done that, after this move, if black had done something like this, white takes here, black here, this space now becomes a false eye. And if black tries to make an eye on the edge here, white takes this space. And black is left with only one eye, and it's black who's under attack. That's what's happening in that situation. So let's go back to the game. Not too many variations. It's one of my rules with beginners is not to. So stone 99, black took. 100, white came out. White sees the danger, senses the danger, is aware of the danger, and is getting out and to try and meet with some of the friendly stones that are floating above in the centre of the board. So black wedges, and the wedge is simply to play a forcing move and establish a cutting point and actually deny white the potential of a second eye there. White takes and makes the eye. Black jumps. And this is that attack I'm talking about with the blue arrows. White jumps, probably feeling pretty secure that white's connected out. Black makes a big base, and what this move is aimed at, because black's got an eye and quite a lot of liberties for this group, it's aiming at that point there. It's saying, do you like this stone? How important is this stone to you? So white comes inside, black Kosumi, white inside, so black cuts outside, and now what I had in mind was, can I catch these stones inside black's shape? White cut, black doesn't have to answer because the Kosumi at f6 is strong already, there's nothing to be done there, so black comes on the outside catching the two white stones on f and g7, and their only way out now is through J7. J7 is the vital point, because if black plays J7, those two white stones will die. So first, black jumps out, and what did white jumps out to stop being cut, and then what did black play here? Black went for the side. Yeah, I'd forgotten this bit of the game. Having said the vital point was the vital point at C, and the reason for that is if black had played here and caught the two stones, then white would play here, and white simply gets this huge area of territory and potential on this side. The potential is just too big, because notice black's got this side of the board and some points at the top, but this black group has got very few points, and white's getting stronger here, and so this is the point at which I gambled the game. So after that one I came down, and white tries to wedge out, black blocks, white makes tiger mouth, black blocks, white ataris. Now you can see that if black defends this stone here by connecting, then white will simply chew on this stone here, and then white's connected, and black below is dying, because notice the black group here has only got one eye. But there was still a way out for black. Black's way out was to force what's called a semeai, and this is what's going to happen. This is why I wanted to include this game. So white cuts, so now black gives up the stone on J8 and connects. Now if white doesn't take right away this stone on J8, then black's next move will be to connect that stone right here at J9, in which case the white stones inside will all die in this ring of steel. So that's a forcing move. So it's saying to you, which one do you like? So black connects and white takes, but black wedges out, white blocks, then black gets this Atari, which would have given black an extra eye. In actual fact, this is the eye that white should have let black have. White at this point thought he could kill both, so white connected, and black came out, and again notice the shape here. The coming out makes a tiger mouth with this group here. So white Ataris, and then black connects, and now we're into the semeai. What's a semeai? This white group is inside black's group, and the black group comes around here, here. This is the cutting point, and it's this black group here. And where's the white group? Well, apart from the inside, white's also got this outside, and here's the second cutting point at this point here, and it's connected here. So both white and black are involved in a life and death struggle. I'm just going to take those out so we don't, the picture's confusing. This is called a semeai. It's a life and death fight. So it's this white group on the inside and this black group on the inside. The black stones here on the outside, the white stones here on the outside. This white group's on the inside, this black group's on the inside. And at this point we have to count liberties. So when we count liberties, and I counted this out carefully, black has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 liberties plus an eye, that's 7 liberties. Black has got 7. White has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 liberties. Black has got 1 more liberty, and white has got an eye. White's got a big eye, a 2-space eye. So white has got 6 liberties and black has got 7, which means that black will win the fight by 1 liberty. And this is when you're doing this kind of close combat fighting. This is what's so vital about this aspect of Go. And it's brilliant, it's beautiful, it's exciting. So we counted liberties. So white takes one of black's liberties and black connects. Count liberties again. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 now for black. White takes the liberty. White has now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Black harness. White counter harness. Black takes. White threatens this stone, but this stone isn't currently an important stone. It's not in the fight. Let's count liberties again. Black has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 liberties, 6 with the eye. White has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Black is still ahead. And notice that if black were to try and save this stone, let's liberty count now. Black's taken one of its own liberties. Black has now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. whereas white has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Black's lost a liberty, and it's white's move, so white would get ahead in the semeai. This is vital stuff. If any of you want to know more about this kind of fighting, there's a fantastic book by a guy called Richard Hunter. He's an English guy, and it's called Counting Liberties and Winning Capturing Races. It's a brilliant book. I really recommend it. It's one of those things that I reference and I keep in my collection all the time to reread, because it's a beautiful exposition of how this kind of fighting proceeds and how to become good at counting liberties and winning these kind of races. So black descended, white ataried, black ignored and takes another liberty off white. White connects at the bottom, but black connects. Now we can count the liberties. What's white got in this group? White has now got 1, 2, 3 liberties, and black has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Black's now 2 liberties ahead. This fight is over, and white's going to die. White took the stone to connect the centre out to the outside corner. Could black have done that? Yes. That would have been a better move. My move here was slack, but I didn't want white to create a ko-ai by taking this stone. White takes. Now I count liberties, force the matter. This was also a slack move because I'm already ahead. I've got 4 liberties on the black group, white's got 3. I don't need to play this, and I would have been better playing this in this kind of area, up on this side of the board or in this side of the board. It was a slack move. Black takes the liberty, but then white takes the liberty and I escape. So black has now got 1, 2, 3 liberties, white has got 2. The fight is over. So I turn my attention elsewhere and I attach here, because I want to get this group that is jammed up against white's wall alive and out of trouble. Because if white weren't to play, this was an unnecessary move by white. If white had played somewhere instead, kind of either here or possibly here, maybe even here, this would have been a fight on for this, and this would have been life and death for the whole game. This would have switched the game. I was slack, but my opponent was slack. We're 7 Qs. We make slack moves. Black attaches. White harness. Black comes up. White wedges in. Black makes a bamboo joint. White wedges in. Black connects here. White harness. Black harness. White harness. Black comes out. White comes out. Black extends on the base to ensure that it's got 2 eyes. Notice that this has already become an eye. There's nothing white can do to stop that eye. Black needs a second eye. White comes down. Black attaches. White comes in. Black comes down. White's in Atari with the next move, so white protects. Black starts to form 1 eye. White threatens to take the eye by wedging in at F10. Black connects. Black's now got this absolutely bolt-on secure eye here. White threatens to take the eye. What white is threatening to do here is make a throw-in move at A5. I'm not going to go through the detail of that, but it's the sort of move that comes in all the time on Black to Play, Bad Up Pop, GoProblems.com. These are standard life and death Go problems. Black extends. Black's now got secure eyes, so this black group is now alive, and white makes a shape move on the outside to protect black cutting. Black comes in. White. I didn't expect that move. I expected the Hane at C15, but that's what it was. Then I played here. I don't think I played this very well. White connects. I Atari, but it doesn't work because this is actually a ladder for white, and there's the ladder breaker. And so black cannot ladder white in this situation. This was a sloppy play by me. White comes up. I aim at the cutting point. Notice that white can't Atari from this side, because then black will descend and get this Atari here on the 2 stone. White Atari's that way. I connect, but the black group have now got 4 liberties. White harness, Again, there are some other sequences here that I could talk to at some point, but I won't now. Black connects. Now there's a vital point, and the vital point is here. If black gets to play there, he can catch the 2 white stones in a net, or a loose ladder. A loose ladder is what happens because the black group on the edge here, the triangular shape, has got one. This group has got 4 liberties to fight. This white group, if there's a black stone on the corner there, has only got 2. So white comes out and gives its group 4 liberties, and black has to defend the top side. So these stones are now dying. White ensures their death, and black comes out on this side. A bit of an overplay by white, a bit hopeful, so black just eats that stone in that way. Black wedges, white blocks. Sorry, white wedges, black blocks. White comes in, black extends, white's now got 2 liberties and no way of making more. But there is a cutting point. There is a cutting point right there that black's got to be aware of, but it's not a vital cutting point until this point is taken. So white takes the point, so black has to defend the cutting point. Semeai. White starts to try and build a territory in this area here. The kosumi is a way of chomping quickly into your opponents. It's what we call trampling. It's a bit like, I think I said before, letting a herd of cattle out on your neighbour's lawn to just walk all over it and tramp it. So I can't make any points here, black can't make points, but I want to trample as many points of whites as possible. White threatens to cut the black stone on N13, so black connects, and white turns. Black makes a shape move to try and trample this side, white blocks, black connects. White makes a kosumi to connect all of the stones together. Black aims at the cutting point in white's group. It's this cutting point here is the one that we're looking at. White blocks, says to black, if you push in there I will eat you. Black pushes there, white tries to eat him, plays there, white protects the cutting point and black catches a stone. White's still got to answer. These are all semeai moves for black, because if white doesn't answer right now, if black plays here, it's Natari on these stones here, and black will connect all of the stones together and win the game. So white connects, and black takes. And white kills the 5 stones. The score on the board at this point is about 10 points to black. It's marginal black win, largely because all of the white stones in this area of the board are dead. White's got quite a big corner here, although black's eroded some of it. White's got a territory on this side and a small area in the corner, but here these dead stones, if we count them, we count 2 per stone: 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, plus the point. There's probably 50 points down there. And as we've said many times, in a game of Go where each player is going to play about 120, 130 stones, you've got about 100 points to a board to split between you. If you've got 60 points on the board, you're close to a win. It's not a hard and fast rule because it depends on prisoners, but that's what we're talking about. Black Ataris and wedges out. White comes up, black pushes, white descends, black pushes, white comes up, black pushes again, white Ataris, so black connects, and then white connects. Hane, these are the end game moves now. I don't think they need much. That's black second eye coming to play there. White connect, black making points, so we're looking for semeai pushes. That was defending the corner, which I hadn't spotted. Wedging in, white connect, turning, white block, black pushes, white hane, black blocks, white defends, semeai for black. Push once, white blocks. Each push takes a point off your opponent. These are worth doing, but only if they're semeai. You're looking for semeai pushes. And now this move. This was me chancing it. It's a real chancer's move. I just looked at the shape in the top right hand corner there and went, this isn't very good shape. because what we have right here in white, in that shape, we've got one empty triangle. We've got another triangle of stones here that are inefficient, and we've got this black stone here that's secure, which means that a black stone played there creates what we know as the eye stealing Tetsuji, which is actually, it takes this eye away, and it creates some problems for white. I didn't expect I'd get anything out of this, but I was hoping something interesting might come. So black played there, white haned. There isn't a good move for black here particularly, but I threw in to force white to take and then descended. Now the reason for the descent is to mean that white cannot approach directly there without self-attarring, and actually what white should have done in this situation is simply make the eye here, and then there's nothing black can do. White's got a good eye here, and will have at least another eye when these two stones die. That would be the ideal outcome for white. So that's where I descended. White did make that block. Notice it leaves the Tetsuji still in play, because but black has only got 2 liberties, and white's pretty comfortable in that space now. So black played here, white pushed, black blocked, and now white goes for this move, and black presses in, and white pushes, and black blocks, and then white is an Atari, so white must connect, and then black plays this move, and this is the move that ends the game. Because notice now, because of the shape moves that white made along the side here, white can no longer play that, because it becomes a self-Atari here. Also, white can't play that, because it becomes a self-Atari here. So what can white do? Can white, that's the situation, black has turned. I'll just get rid of scrub out the marking so you can see clearly what's going on in the game. What if white connects? Then black comes here. Again, white cannot approach on this side because it's a self-Atari, with R19 being the Atari point. So all that white can do, because white cannot apply here because it's a repeating situation. If white tries to apply here, what we see is it just flips back. White, black, white, and we're back to the same place, so that doesn't work. All white could possibly do is connect here. Sorry, after white connects and black connects, white cannot do this. So all white could attempt to do is here, but then black plays this move, and if white takes, black comes back, and this shape, this pyramid as it's called, the pyramid shape, is dead. So white is dead in the corner. Black has wiped out the corner because of a mistake. I think black was ahead by about 15 on the board, but after this one, the black turn creates this dead shape, and this is all about this diagonal here. This diagonal means that white cannot push at T16 because of the self-Atari, and it cannot push at T19. This is just one of the beautiful, elegant, elaborate things about playing Go. These things happen on the board that is just simply magical. We can't anticipate them, we can't force them, we can sometimes, when we see them beginning to happen, we can say there's a potential, there's an opportunity. I had written these stones off, the 2 stones on ST18 as dead, but when white played that, I suddenly saw the potential for this move. So black played, and then white played this move on the lower side. Black played this move, killing the stones, and then white resigned. And white resigned because now on the board, with the death of the top left hand corner, because there's no good move black is ahead by 50. It's moved from 10 or 12 points, which black was ahead on the board, to 50, and it's a resigned game. Okay guys, I hope that was interesting. I hope that was that articulated some concepts of Go for you. It was an interesting game for me. It involved a semeai, this semeai down in this part of the game. The final killing moves up here, I didn't expect to get that. I was hoping to stay ahead on the board with black's territory here, but it was pretty close on the board, and black living here. There was some sloppy plays by me, there were some mistakes by opponent, there were some slack moves. It was a 7Q Go game, but nonetheless exciting and thrilling and fun for that. Okay, I'm going to stop there now. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the game, if you've enjoyed the way I teach on the channel, then please give me a thumbs up. Please comment below if you've got anything you want to talk about or comment on the game. And as I say, if you like the way I teach on 10 Minutes to Go, then please subscribe. Okay guys, I will see you soon. Bye for now, and please keep going. Bye.